Man, I just set this for 30 minutes and I wrote a lot, maybe too much in this document. Sick, bro. God dang it, man. It's fine. Hey friends, I hope you're doing well and having a great day so far. We're back, baby. Another podcast episode. Pew, 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 pew. I am recording this on Saturday, November 9th. So we definitely have the results of the election. That will probably be a little bit of what we talk about. Along with talking about the election, I wanted to talk about beliefs. I feel like in every episode, there's some talk that I have about belief because it's a huge part of healing. Is being able to change your belief system is a huge way to gain access to clarity and consciousness, which helps you be more self-aware. So those are like the two topics that I plan to go over today. So I'm gonna go over how I experienced the election results. Yeah, for me, it was really interesting to put the focus back on me after waking up Wednesday morning and seeing the results of the election, which aren't what I want the outcome to be. But I went back to comparing how I reacted in 2016 in comparison to how I responded this year in 2024. And they are vastly fucking different for me. In 2016, I didn't go to work. I just went through a cycle of crying and being angry and binge drinking and smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and watching like violent things and listening to violent music. And it just kept me stuck in my belief system of this is going to be terrible, everything is going to be taken away from me, and just staying in that really negative space. I was codependent, right? This is before therapy. Like, I didn't start therapy until 2017 and the election was 2016. I was so okay with not trying to move myself into any kind of positive state. I was unconsciously attached to being a victim because then it meant I didn't have to do any work. I could just continue doing the same fucking thing and complaining about the same fucking things and not changing. Yeah, I was stuck in my belief systems of no one cares about me, no one cares about our community, I am unsafe now and always in every single moment. It was a ruminating spiral of bad, terrible thoughts and beliefs. This time, though, I'm so proud of myself for how I responded. After the 2016 election, I don't pay attention to election results. I don't tune in to any show. I don't tune into any media. If I can block it on social media, I will, and I did. It just doesn't benefit me mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Yeah, when I woke up and saw the results, you know, I definitely took a big breath and sigh and just, there was a few tears I initially let out, but I didn't cling to anything, right? Like I was really close to getting stuck in the spiral of scrolling on social media because that's what I do. When I dissociate, I try to keep scrolling, keep watching, participating in things that aren't really pushing me forward or pushing me at all. It's just keeping me stuck in the shit. But I'm really lucky now because I've changed who I follow on social media drastically since 2016. Like now I really only follow therapists and coaches and accounts that like have otter videos. My entire feed is full of positivity. I think that I did a 1, 2, 3 scroll and I got to something that was like, you can get off social media. You don't have to participate in what is going on because it probably isn't gonna help. And I was like, oh, that was a reminder I needed to put my goddamn phone down. There were also a lot of messages that were just like, love holds us together. And I think that the last post that I ended on was I ran into a post by Jennifer Lewis. I don't know, she was just sitting at a piano at an airport and was like feeling the pain, but just speaking really beautifully about how, I'm getting chills thinking about it, just how much loving each other and continuing to love each other through this is going to hold us together. That was really beautiful to me. And it really resonated for me because I think that last time I struggled with othering people It was any way you split it. Democrats, Republicans, heterosexual people, homosexual people, trans people, cis people. I did a lot of othering because I was trying to make sense of it all instead of just acknowledging it and accepting it for what it was, because it felt like it was limiting me when it's not. Seeing that was really beneficial to me. I got up and I continued my morning routine. I did everything like I normally did. I did have like a lot more tears come up for me when I was journaling in the morning. And my meditation was just tough because I worry about people who don't know that they can control their thoughts and that spiraling out into stories doesn't have to happen. I know how scared like all queer and trans people are, but I'm so sure that like these young queer and trans folk are just scared shitless. And that was who I worried about the most, because maybe it was a little projecting on like, at that age, I didn't have the capacity to know that I can stop my thoughts and control them. I assume that that might be the case for a lot of young people nowadays, even if we have access to all of these information that I didn't have as a kid. But I just kept loving throughout the day. I had, these moments of anger come up for me. Instead of sticking to it, I was just saying it out loud, right? Acknowledging, I am so fucking angry right now. And it released. I didn't want to cling on to the story anymore. I don't want to be a victim of the results of this election like I was in 2016. And you are not a victim of the results of this election. And I just want you to know that. I know that a lot of feelings can come up. Feelings actually don't have to be categorized as good or bad, positive or negative. They can just be. At this point in society, I think that we're all kind of living in our heads to keep us safe instead of living in our hearts and dropping down into our heart space and living from this place of love, but also freedom. Freedom from needing to control things. A lot of my friends were really angry, and that's so valid. Your anger is valid, my anger is valid, but I'm trying to do my best to not cling onto it in a manner that it continues to follow me throughout the rest of this week, this month, this year. I got really weighed down throughout his last term of following the bullshit, listening to people talk about the bullshit instead of being like, I don't want to hear this. I'm not interested. And setting boundaries. I think that this time I just know that I'm at a place where I can hold my own and not have to be swayed so heavily by this rapid river of social media and news and fear mongering. I think that it's also like, I did a lot of reading about narcissism, and he is hands down a narcissist. So I see his bullshit and I see through it. So, even if you don't have a narcissistic person in your life, which I don't know, the statistic is, I don't know if this is current, but it's like 1 in 6 people is a narcissist. So with Trump going into office again, it might be beneficial for a lot of us to read and learn about narcissism and what he's actually doing. Because what he does is he spins these stories of delusion, and he does a lot of fear mongering for the people that are against him so that we can stay small and we get too scared and in our stories to fight back. But then he does a lot of bullshitting to wrap people in his delusions with lies and fake experiences and promises that he will never fulfill. He's doing a lot of future faking. In the end, I think for me, I wasn't angry. I was sad. I was sad for the people who are like me, queer and trans, and just scared. I just so badly wanted to hug so many people that day. Then on the other side, I felt really sad for the people that voted for him, because I can see their pain. I got trapped in narcissistic connections with people because I was so scared and I was in such pain that I couldn't do any inward reflection because it felt like it would never end, like it was going to be a Hiroshima explosion. There were so many stories that were tied to what internal reflection meant for me. I see how many of these people are just in pain and they can't do any self-reflection because of a multitude of reasons. When you are stuck in such pain and fear and confusion, you just want someone else to take responsibility for your life. Narcissists talk like they will help you, but they need to be needed to feel valuable. So I felt compassion for both sides, and that was so new for me. And it felt like significant fucking growth for me that I am just so grateful for. I just keep telling myself that we've been through this before. There was an end to it. It didn't last forever. I made it through. I am an example of a trans person who came out and started transitioning during the last presidency, and I really didn't run into issues. I saw a lot of hatred and bigotry in the news and in the media, but in real life, it didn't happen. I think I just kind of want to remind you that I am the proof. I came out in 2017, started testosterone in 2017, got my surgery in 2018, got my name changed in 2019, and this is all happening in South Carolina, which is a red state. Like, we are conservative as fuck. And I still did it. I'm a part of some of these like trans groups that are just wonderful and beautiful. And I see so many people being like, what's the point now? I just want to be an example for you of don't give up. Don't give Trump that power because that's what he wants. Don't give up. Don't give up for yourself. It isn't about the rest of the community. It's about you, okay? Yeah, for the rest of the day, I tried to stay calm and clear and busy. Yeah, I started just randomly rearranging my house. This room used to be my bedroom, and now it's the studio. I did that on the day after election, and I'm so glad that I did that because it helped me feel better in this house and a little bit more situated. And it also helped me keep my body moving and my brain moving about things that are tangible and didn't give me space to think about all of these stories or try to future predict what will happen because we don't know. And trying to think up all of the scenarios that could happen is a trauma response and a protective mechanism, which is valid, but is it really the best use of your time and your energy? Probably not. I just kind of want to shine a light on the autonomy that you still hold. I want to make light of the fact that staying mindful and staying present is going to really benefit anybody who is struggling with the results. Because right now, Saturday, November 9th at 4:10 p.m., Trump is not the president. He's not. He has not been inaugurated, and we have a full month, but we have at least six and a half weeks to do something. There isn't a lot. We can't like fucking kick him out of office or whatever, but you can make a plan for what is best for you. If it is leaving the state that you live in, make a plan. If it is leaving the country, make a plan. If it is staying where you are, but taking steps to help the community around you, make a plan. You have time, space, energy. If you don't give it to him and his followers and keep it for yourself, you have time. But I encourage you to just remember that it's not there yet. Like, you can be actually putting plans in an outline to help you make actionable steps towards a goal to make yourself comfortable and happy so that you don't lose joy throughout this next term of his presidency. Because I think that's what happened. We let the election results just kind of take the plug out of the bathtub and drained all of our water. And we were all exhausted. I think it's because we're putting our energy in the wrong place. We're trying to change and control others when we can only change and control ourselves. And we're turning towards negativity and hate and othering instead of turning towards love and connection and understanding. So take some time to think about what would benefit you. Like, I'm expanding my want to be in a camper van. I think the election results have just changed my perspective on what my goals are right now, because I would love to do all of that, but I am in such a better place with myself that I feel this spark of energy after this response that I've had after the election results that maybe this is my time to help others. So the box of what I thought was going to happen for my life is kind of, I'm drop kicking the walls down and being like, I'm open to other things. And I'm also making a plan. So I wrote, Trump and all narcissists are very good at fear mongering because it's the tactic that they've always used to keep people feeling like they're beneath them. And if you choose to buy into that belief, then you're going to end up manifesting it. You're going to feel small, helpless, and unable to care for yourself, which isn't true. Narcissists are human, just like you and I. While he might seem like he has a lot of power, he actually doesn't. He just has a lot of influence. Narcissists have influence over people by using their words to create these elaborate, detailed stories, which are all just figments of his imagination, to loop people into his delusion and to keep control over them. You do not have to buy into that. And the first step to not buying into it is to not let the election results negatively affect you in a permanent way. Meaning, feel your feelings and move through it. Do not get stuck in it. The moment you get stuck in it and start believing that he has all this control and power, the more you're placing your energy in his truth, which is just putting more energy into fulfilling his power over this country. You need to remember that there are so many other good people that will do their best to get in his way and stop him from taking us back 50 years. You have to remember that while, yes, he did do damage to a lot of people and communities in his last term, there are good people out there, and you are one of them. We all are. We are all humans, and while some believe that we are all separate from each other, we're actually all connected. So I've been trying to do my best to send him love because it seems like that's what he's missing, and that's why he's so angry. He didn't receive enough love when it really mattered, and now he only is programmed to live off of hate and shame. So when you hate and shame him, it's only stirring the pot and adding more terrible, rotten ingredients into it. But instead, if we love him and his minions, we might be able to trigger a change of heart. This is coming from somebody who has sacrificed every part of myself for a narcissist. So I know that narcissists don't change, but 1 in 6 people are narcissists. There are a lot of people around this man, and not all of them are narcissists. 2 narcissists normally don't interact that much because then it's just a battle. It's like a dick fighting sword competition of like, mine's more powerful than yours. And it's like, ugh. So there are weak spots in the people around him. And if we're smart enough, if we're loving enough, if we're open enough, I think that there's a potential for change that we're just not capable of seeing right now because he makes us so angry. I realized also that a lot of my anger from the last time was I was embarrassed. And when I'm embarrassed, I get angry because I was bullied. When I feel embarrassment, I am ready to go into fucking battle. And it felt good to not have that come up. I didn't have anger. I just had sadness because we're all the same. And even though it's really hard to want to put myself in the same bucket as him, I am. You are. We are all connected through source. And the same energy that runs in him is the same energy and life force that runs through me. Love changes all. It's what like Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, all of these people live from love. It isn't a fluctuating thing. It is at the forefront for them. And that is why they had so much change, just encapsulating them. I also think that a lot of the results come down to we have a lot of people stuck in tradition and not making space for tradition to morph into something different because to them, they view it as a loss instead of a gain. And sure, I'm sure there are things that they would lose, but man, there'd be so much beauty for them to gain. And they just can't see it. So I know I said that I want to talk about beliefs, and I'm already like 40 minutes into recording this, so we might save that for later. I think the only thing that I want to say about beliefs is that they matter. The thoughts we think, the feelings that we attach to or identify with, the ingrained habitual behaviors that we do, all of those kind of spiral out from what our core belief is. And for me, this election, it really shined a spotlight on how my beliefs have changed significantly from 2016. It has brought me peace. It has brought me the ability to respond. It has given me the space to not respond. as well. Like, I don't have to buy into these posts. I don't have to post things. I don't have to talk about it if I don't want to. And before, I felt like I did. I felt guilty if I didn't have feelings about the election, which, you know, sometimes I still feel that guilt, but I know that my peace is more important to me than making others feel comfortable with how I feel about the election. So I want you to look at your beliefs. For example, do you believe that Trump having another presidency is going to make it impossible for you as a queer or trans person to go out in society? Is that actually true? If it is true, what power do you hold to change that? Is it moving, leaving the country, staying with friends somewhere else? There are options. We just can't see the options when we are in a state of fear. When we are stuck in our head, that is not where answers live. Answers live in your heart, in your soul, in your spirit. And you have to quiet your mind to be able to hear those answers. So I encourage you to look at your belief system, especially around things about the election. You have this 6-week window to really unpack what your belief systems are around Trump as a president and untie them so that you can go into the new year peaceful and not worried or stressed or small. You don't have to buy into the beliefs of others. It's not wrong to just feel neutral about the election results because that's what brings you peace. I know that this is scary, but we got this. We've already been through it once. We can do it again, especially with all of the love and support that I know is so deeply ingrained in this community. So leave me a comment below, letting me know what belief system that you want to start unpacking in your life. Let me know what you're going to do for the next 6 weeks of 2024 to make sure that you're going into this next year with as much grace and peace and space to be okay. I care about all of you, and I'm here. If you are in need of venting, talking, screaming, crying, you can message me. I will also put information in the description for hotlines. All of that information will be in the description below. I love you guys, and I wish I could give all of you like a hug and just be like, I know it's so hard and scary, but pushing through the fear gets you to what? Growth. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. And thanks for hanging out for it's a tough thing to talk about. And I just appreciate you guys joining me anyway and listening to my thoughts about all of this nuttiness. Find something to fucking laugh at. There's some really good stand-up available on streaming platforms. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week regardless of the outcome. And I hope you're finding joy regardless of the outcome. Yeah. Just thank you guys so much for joining me on another episode of Generation Recovery, friends. It means so much to have you guys here. Yeah, I hope you guys just have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. And until we see each other again, be well, friends.